Hello guys and welcome to my channel F1-1. I create this channel to show you some F1 2019 game content, and today we are going to have a league race around Singapore. Starting now my qualifying lap in intermediate condition. I use no ABS and no traction control, but I use racing line, as you can see. Going through the first corners, I was a little bit cautious because I didn't know how much grip there was on track. So coming around now the last few corners, we did a 153.2, just 1 tenth away from the pole position. Let's see what position we finish. 4th place. Not very good news because, as you know, it's very difficult to overtake around Singapore. As you can see, we are 4 drivers in 1 tenth of a second. On the grid now, strategy-wise, we are gonna do mediums to soft, because soft at the end on low fuel are better. I'm fueling the car, and now here we go. Good, getting a decent start. We have a McLaren alongside, so we leave a little bit of room on the outside, but we defend our position. So we remain in 4th position. Following the leaders, there are 2 Ferraris and 1 Haas going through, trying to find my rhythm and start well this league race. You can see the Haas fighting the Ferrari up ahead. The Ferrari defends the inside line and managed to hold the position. So we are going around now the sector 2. We are on mediums, and the guy up ahead is on softs, and as you can see, Andrea hit the outside wall and picks up wing damage. That should be slowing him down a bit, so it should be easier to stay with him with medium tires. Going through the left-hander hairpin, as you can see, the leading Ferrari smashes in the wall and picks up front wing damage, and the first VSC is out. Skipping now to the end of the VSC, trying to maintain a positive delta to avoid penalties. The VSC is now ending, as you can see. And now we have a great run on Andrea up ahead. We are side by side going to the right-hander. Now he picks up the slipstream and has a good run on us, so we defend the inside line. Andrea goes around the outside. We brake late as possible, but he overtakes us around the outside. We defend well from the McLaren, so we keep in 3rd position. Skipping now to the end of lap 3. We're going purple, fastest lap of the race, and we are managing to stay well with these guys. Going through now the sector 2 on lap 4, trying to brake in a straight line going into the hairpin. As you can see, the Haas is going deep into the corner, so we have side to side with him going into the straight. He has the inside, so we are trying to brake as late as possible, but he covers his up. Trying now the switchback, but once again he has better traction, so we have to set back and try to set up the move once again. Going now through the 3rd sector, as you can see, our medium tires are starting to be better than soft tires. They are very easy to overheat. Going now to the finish line, I was still hoping that he was going to pit, but he continues. Now we have DRS, but we are running 811 wheels, so we have not a very good straight line speed, so we are not able to make a move on him. Trying to have a good exit from here, and we reasonably do it. Putting to hot lap and reach fuel mix, trying to set up the move, but the Haas ahead has the DRS of the Ferrari, so it will be impossible to make any sort of move, and we stay behind him from another lap. Skipping now to the end of lap 5, I was really praying that he was gonna pit, but as you can see, he continues for another lap. We are still in DRS, managing our tires, our fuel, and we have still a lot of ERS. Going once again to the first complex of corners, slingshotting this last left-hander, trying to have a good exit, reach, hot lap mode, engage, Once again, he has DRS on the Ferrari, so the move is going to be pretty difficult. We are close, but we are not gaining in a straight line, so we put back once again to lean a low ERS deployment. Going through the right-hander, following them very, very closely. My medium tires were very much better at this stage than his worn soft. Taking a lot of curve on this left-hander. A lot of curve also in this right-hander, avoiding the one on the left, trying to brake in a straight line. Once again, the ass goes a little bit deep, so we have a good run on him, trying to pick as much slipstream as possible. He covers the inside. I think for a moment to go to the inside, but there is no room. He covers me off once again. A little mistake on the traction, a little bit of wheel spin, and we have once again to set back in third position. As you can see now, we are really pushing hard. I was really getting frustrated because I thought I had more rhythm than the guys in front, but I couldn't find a way past them. Finally, on lap 6, the ass goes into the pit and we have free air to catch back up to the Ferrari. As you can see, skipping to lap 8, we already caught him up, but the VSC is now deployed once again, so I couldn't attack him on the DRS straight. Skipping to the end of the VSC, we pretty much maintained the same gap to the Ferrari ahead, and we are going through the third sector, trying to be close as much as possible to him to have our shot on the DRS zone. Skipping now to the end of lap 8, now starting lap 9. As you can see, we are really close. We have DRS, not trying to make any move on turn 1, but trying to set it up for the DRS straight coming up. Hot lap, reach mix, trying to have a decent exit. Now we have DRS and we use all the slips, and he is going defensive to the inside, so we have to do around the outside, brake as late as possible. We are side to side. He pushes me a little bit wide. We have to concede room out the outside because he's still alongside, losing a bit of traction, locking up a slightly bit, so we have to concede once again the position. Skipping now to the end of lap 9, I decided to pit, but as you can see, he decided to pit, so I decided to do the overcut and stay out one more lap. I really pushed as hard as possible, but the tires were really gone at this stage. Pitting now to the end of lap 10, trying to have the best pit entry as possible, as you can see guys, I picked a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, because I was at 62 kilometers per hour and not at 60. So I was really angry at this stage. Putting now the soft tire, we have 5 laps of qualifying. Let's see where we come up. As you can see, the leaders are going by us just now, and now we have to push for 5 laps in order to catch up to those guys and trying to overtake. Going through the right-hander, I check if the guy in front of me has penalty, but I can confirm at this stage he had no penalty at all. As you can see, the gap is 1.9 seconds going into the sector 2. Skipping now to the end of lap 11, as you can see, we are on the gearbox as the ass, thinking about the move in the first corner, but decided to stay behind and line up the pass on the DRS straight. We have tire advantage and the ass is still a little bit of front wing damage, so hot lap, rich mix, trying to have a decent exit. We now open the DRS after a little tap to the outside wall, but luckily no damage. This time we grab the inside line, brake late, we are still side by side. I squeeze him a little bit out of the track, fair play to him, no damage, and we are luckily through with making a little bit of contact. Now we have free air to catch the Ferrari. This is my favorite part of the track, really difficult. Trying once again to brake in a straight line, not to lock up, getting a decent exit Skipping now to the end of lap 12, as you can see we are really close to the Ferrari ahead. We have the DRS on the start-finish straight, it goes straight defensive to the inside line. We are thinking about the move around the outside, but we decide to brake early, have a good line to these corners. Good traction coming out of the left-hander. Now, setting up the move for this DRS straight, hot lap, rich mix. DRS is now open, use all the slipstream, he goes defensive, but finally we have the overspeed to overtake him, and now we have 2.5 laps to break away and gain 5 seconds because of the penalty on the pit. At this stage I was pushing really hard, trying to do qualifying laps and see what happens. So going through here, once again, taking a lot of curb on the inside. 4th gear, try to stay as close as possible at the left wall. A lot of curb on the right, avoid this one. Trying to brake in a straight line. 1st gear, short shift into 3rd to avoid wheel spin. Hot lap, rich mix. In the meantime asking for penalties, but he has no penalty, so we have to gain 5 seconds. And as you can see, the gap is 1.3 seconds. Just 2.5 laps remaining. Going now through the 3rd sector, use a lot of curbs to hook up the car and have the best line possible through here. 4th gear, then 3rd gear once again. Half the car on the inside curb, attacking this last corner very early. Let's see what the gap is coming across the finish line. We are purple lap time and the gap is 2.1 seconds. Fast forwarding now across lap 14, I really pushed hard. Now, as you can see, coming through the last lap, let's see what the gap is. The gap is 3.9 seconds, so we have to gain 1 second through the last lap. We have a little bit of fluid to play the width, but we have no ERS to deploy. We use everything we had, 8%, 6% of ERS, rich mix, really pushing hard. At this stage our soft tire are really screaming because it's really easy to overheat them. We are starting to slide a little bit, so we are gonna short shift a little bit more, but we are gonna push to the absolute maximum possible, going through this section of corner, trying to maximize our lines. Once again, lean through the corners to have better traction, putting now to hot lap and rich mix. Coming to the end of sector 2, let's see what the gap is. The Ferrari is going past the sector 2 just now and the gap is 4.2 seconds. So guys, we have to find 8/10 of a second in just one sector. Here I was pushing like crazy and I said, okay, I will spin or I will win the race. So I just pushed to the maximum possible. As you can see, losing the rear end a little bit. 4th gear, 5th gear, attacking the last corner for the last time. 5 laps over Singapore, crossing the finish line, waiting for the Ferrari to come to the finish. Let's see what the gap is. The gap is 5.1 seconds, so we won the race by 1/10 of a second. This was a really nice race. I was extremely happy because I pushed really hard. Hope you enjoyed, guys. It was very fun race to drive and hopefully to watch. Thank you guys for watching F1-1.